Do you ever leave the salon and want to know what's going on behind the scenes?
Do you listen in on the neighbors' gossip in the salon chair when you're here?
Do you ever have a story that after you've left, you wish you told your hairstylist?
Especially the stories that you might have heard about, but never really heard the end to.
We like to yap. I'm Allie.
I'm Nora.
And I'm Macy.
And welcome to On the Floor with Little Fern.
Join us every other week.
Welcome in to our first ever Little Fern on one big couch together.
This is what dreams are made of.
This is Little Fern in the studio.
The studio that is Nora's basement, and we're on the fattest, most comfiest couch. And honestly, I'm feeling amazing right now.
Macy is living her dream life right now. She is so sprawled out. It is amazing.
Well, according to Alicia, when I sat down, I immediately just hogged all the blankets. And I'm sitting in a little cove of pillows. And this is amazing. I don't know how we're going to go back to Little Fern after this.
I carefully positioned all of the pillows so that they would be in a nice resting zone. And I had all the blankets spread out for you guys because it does get chilly down here, but in a good way.
It's old-fashioned basement chili. I dwelled in my basement growing up as well. And it's got that sweet basement chill, which is very particular. But you know when I loved it the most was in the summer when it would be hot outside and then the basement was cold. Oh, there's nothing like it. Nothing like it.
You just took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say, it reminds me, especially my mom's house. She's got that cold basement vibe too. Yeah, it's great because then you come in, cool off down here. Yeah, it's the 20-degree difference from upstairs to the downstairs, and it's lovely.
It kind of reminds you of when everything is you don't know what's going on up there. We don't know if it's dark or light or what the temperature is because it's just neutral down here.
Well, that's when it's 80 degrees outside, but you're walking into the movie theater with a blanket because you already know that you're going to be cozy the fuck up because it's just chilly.
See, I think because I don't have that in my recent home, but I grew up with that as that's where the TV room was when I was growing up. That's where you hung out. You did not hang out upstairs. So now as an adult who has my own home, but I don't have a basement to hang out in, I kind of try to make my living room like a cave still. I still want it to feel, when I'm ready to chill, I want all the blinds closed. I want it to feel very cave-like.
It's silly that you say that because every time that I go into Alicia's living room, it is a little dungeon that you go into, and a comfy little dungeon, of course. But yeah, they're the blinds are closed and yeah, it's very cozy. It's very dark in there, especially at night. It's very dark in there. And yeah, it does get off that vibe. I didn't know that's what you were going for.
That is what I'm going for. I'm going for baby cub in her den.
With all the big blankets and the pillows and yeah.
It's just, it's what is the word for it? It's unexpected because your home is set up so that that area is accessible all the time to everybody. So it's not hidden away, but then you walk in it and you're oh, okay, this is where we relax.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a hard transition. We tried to have a basement. It flooded. It's not really a doable thing anymore for us to have a live in the basement situation. So, yeah, my house is set up where it's bam. It smacks you right in the face. So you're just oh, dang. To the left, you eat. To the right, you sit.
Don't have a place. I guess you have to leave.
That's it. You're not allowed to then.
Well, I think that with us being in this amazing setting, we have a really beautiful display in front of us. And we have a fern. We also have a cute little table with our drink of the day that Nora so amazingly made for us, and the spread of popcorn and candy salad. Nora, can you give us a rundown of what we're drinking today?
It's a drink I made for Easter. It has lime juice. I used all non-dairy milk, so it's coconut milk with vanilla in it. There was a can of coconut cream, all unsweetened, and then there was a full can of sweetened condensed oat milk, or you could use sweetened condensed coconut milk. And then I did 2 ounces of regular rum, clear rum, and then 4 ounces of toasted coconut rum. It's delightful.
Literally tastes like I'm on the beach in Jamaica and somebody's serving me the most delicious beverage ever.
It's very good. Very good. Must make.
It has a foam on the top of it because you blend it up.
It's very light, very airy. Yeah.
We all have other drinks, coffees, waters. We're going to be hydrated.
I got my Stanley sitting right here.
We are ready to rock and roll. We're ready to dive on in. You know what I'm ready to dive on into is that recently Macy has taken a new stance on living with her boyfriend.
Oh my God. I didn't know you were going to bring that up.
It's about time. I was waiting for it. I'm getting annoyed that it's not happening yet.
To be fair, I think that it had to come like at my own pace because anybody, I feel like podcast world probably isn't aware, but anybody who like at the salon, Nora, Alicia, I don't make any bones about it. I have had severe anxiety when it's come to like my relationship, and not anything in particular. It's just I have a lot of things that I'm working through right now in therapy. And yeah, I'm finally at a point where it's like really good and things are really good between us right now. Like, and it's been consistently very good. And I don't really want to leave him when we're together. And then we leave and I'm like, why are we doing this? Like why are we not living together already? So
That's great. My one question is that Macy has brought up numerous times, and I love this, and I want to talk about it more.
I already know what you're going to bring up.
Separate rooms. Macy's ready for separate bedrooms already.
Yeah. Not like a separate sleeping situation, but more of like a separate space. Like, especially me going from, I live by myself right now.
Bottom line, what you're thinking in your head is you can't live in a studio together.
I don't want to sacrifice my space. Like, I still want to be able to have a door that I can close at the very least, not necessarily like lock, but like that I can. He has his thing. Like, he has his hobbies of like gaming and doing certain things like that and hang out with his boys. And like, I have my hobbies where I like to unwind at night and read my Kindle and do yoga and do all that like holistic meditation woo-woo shit. And like, I want to be able to do that and not have to worry about anybody walking in. And so like, that's more the point of it, where it's like, I don't know if we're gonna have maybe one bed and then like maybe like a little like futon or something in like another room, but like that's I think that makes me feel a lot more comfortable with the idea of moving in with one another, because going just directly from living by myself in my studio in a shared space essentially to going and moving in and having all that gone, that's a lot.
It still sounds like you're trying to sleep in separate beds, since you had to mention about having a futon
Yes,
in the other room.
like a cozy, like a place I can sit on.
Oh, okay. I think it's great. I think it's hilarious. I'm here for it. I just find that like who are we talking to about it at the salon with?
Abby.
She
was like, "Oh wow, you're getting like divorced, the bedroom divorce before you're
married."
even like married." And I was like, I mean, like fair. And like I did think about that afterwards. I was like, is this like a weird thing to like do? But I don't think so. I think I've made peace with it. And I'm like, we'll see also, like when we're actually looking at places. Like I'm saying in an ideal world. But like if we end up not having like separate rooms, like that's okay with me. Like we will be sleeping with one another every night. But then I also will have a space I can go to if I'm like, you're pissing me off. I want to go sit on my fucking futon.
I think that's just called you lock yourself in your bathroom in your bedroom.
Yeah.
When you're upset.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't want to cry in like our shared space.
Yeah, I was trying to think about what we did when we lived together in a smaller space, because our condo in the city was small, and I don't think we.
I think you just cried in the shower.
Yeah, I
probably.
think we never really had like.
You said I'm going to go
That's
shower.
wild. Like fair. I mean, like any normal person, right?
Or one person was in the living room and one person was in the bedroom. You know, like that's just like kind of how like the natural progression was.
That's how I got sequestered always to being like so comfortable watching TV in my bedroom, because Bill was a gamer and he would game until sometimes 4 a.m. back then. So he would be in the living room and I would be in our bedroom sitting and chilling and watching TV.
Yeah, I think it's like one of those things where it's like, it's just weird thinking about that dynamic. Like, I have no idea. That's why I'm like, maybe like having another room isn't like the vibe, and maybe we'd be able to figure out. I'm sure we'd be able to. Everybody is able to. But yeah, no, the gaming especially. I'm like, I can't do that. Like sometimes that, like you said, that man is up until 3 in the morning gaming, and I'm like, I love you, but I can't sleep. And when I can't sleep, I'm a terror. It's like when I don't have like food and like I feel like I'm gonna die. That's how it feels like when somebody's interrupting my sleep. I value my sleep deeply.
I get it, because even as like adults and many years into marriage later, both of us generally aren't like, let's go to bed and we go to bed together. Do you know what I mean? Like that doesn't happen. Like that's not like that's not normal. That's not like what people do. And not like what you see in the movies where you're like getting ready for bed together and you're having like these weird that's not happening.
You guys both have your side lights on and your books in hand.
No. That is
The woman's lotioning her hands, and the guys.
exactly. That is not happening.
I think like fair enough, like maybe every once in a while, like it aligns. You guys are like doing it at the same time. But even same thing with me and Aiden. He's like, I'm gonna like hang on the couch and like watch TV a little bit longer. Like, and I'm always the one that's like, I'm ready for bed. Like I'm usually the one that's ready to go to bed first, and I'm okay with that. Like I don't need him to come to bed with me. I just like hopefully he wakes up and he's there next to me, but you know, sometimes you fall asleep on the couch, so you can't do anything about it. But yeah, very big steps. But I have more
You got
months to
time.
prepare.
Your
I have
lease is
time to
not up
mentally
yet.
prepare for this. It's just more of like now is like having to plan before, and so like I can know like, essentially what to do around then. But yeah, I was talking to him yesterday about it, and I was like, at first I was like, I'm not set on anything, like trying not to get his hopes up, because I prepared him for a whole other year of me not living with him. Like, so he was not expecting me to be like, actually, I'm kind of ready now. So I was like, I'm thinking about it. But then we were talking yesterday, and I was like, I'm pretty set on it at this point, I think. Like,
It's also just honestly like a better financial decision. If you're gonna live with anybody, you should be
So
living with
much
the person that
better.
you're spending.
in this economy, especially, I think that was a big part. Also, like how much I'm spending in Hyde Park, going back and forth right now between work and the city and my boyfriends and my mom's. Because, like, I mean, essentially everything really is right now out in the suburbs, which is just so weird. Because, like, usually when you're at my age, like, it's kind of the opposite where everything's out in the city. All your friends are out in the city. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of been like a natural progression. So
I feel like that's not necessarily true, especially after you've graduated college. A lot of people either stay in the city or they move back home or they stay where they've gone to school.
And a lot of my friends, like even like my friend Brooke, like she is not a city girl, so she's never going to be moving to the city. She's probably going to be moving to Florida in like 2 years with her job. And then my friend Kelly, she's joining the Peace Corps, so she'll be traveling. And I'm like, well, I don't know. Like I like the city. I've had a great time, but I'm like, it's one of those things I'm glad I did, but I don't really know if like it's like I need to continue doing it. Just because I'm out here so much, and it just feels like such a waste of money at this point. Of like, I would rather just be out here at this point. So it's all accumulation of financials, back and forth, and then also just feeling like good in my relationship and feeling like I could like say that we'd be able to make things work and we'd be good when we're living with one another.
I love this. I'm so glad Alicia brought it up because I was hearing it and I was like, oh, this is a little switch up here.
It is.
I really like a growth moment, and I'm glad we've kind of come in a full circle. And I think that everyone who listens to us is going to really enjoy watching like baby Macy like take all these like little life hurdles that have
I mean, like, to be
come
fair, we started this podcast, I think, was it just when me and Aiden broke up, or was it even before me and Aiden were together?
I think it might have been before. Yeah.
Which is wild.
Because
Yeah.
we had a whole thing about the
No,
firemen.
but he was in between. That was a month in between me and Aiden.
No, but I feel as though if we really went back, I think you had either just started to talk to him. Does that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was like the beginning. It was pre even dating.
Yes, because the Snapchat was an issue.
Oh my
You didn't
God.
have
Yes. No. So this is when we were like talking. Like this is like the talking situationship like
Yes.
phase of everything. And yeah, no, it's just wild to see like how far we've come. And also like, I mean, we've definitely had some blips along the way. We had a blip in February, and like it's one of those things where it's like kind of like I think a make or break. And I think it definitely pushed a lot of progress and growth into both of us. We're like, we've been consistently putting in the work and being like, we want to make this work. We love one another, but we need to start being better for one another. So, and it's been great ever since. So,
Love it.
This is the time in the podcast where Nora fidgets with her mic and takes it apart.
I'm not going to do that today, but this does keep changing on its own, and I'm not even touching the back thing.
yeah, it didn't make it into the episode last time because we had such a long episode with Evelyn. But last time during our episode, Nora took apart her mic and put it back together.
I'm not doing that anymore.
I just happened to look over and I saw her mess with the little screws, and I thought, not again.
I was just tightening. I was thinking about me and Bill also had a blip yesterday. We've been together for 20 years. So you're going to have blips.
That's, I think, the big thing, too, is, like, especially because I've been an anxious person, relationships in general have always been very hard for me. Aiden's the longest relationship I've had. Before him, it was 2 months, and most of them were situationships, okay? And I think anytime that we would have, like, a slight argument or disagreement or an uncomfortable conversation, for me, would always feel like the end of the world. And then it would turn into these situations that were a lot bigger than it was actually, like... And so then now it's like we're really honing in on like our communication style individually, because obviously we all have different ways that we communicate, and then realizing, oh, like we just needed to talk about this and have a conversation rather than like almost like come at the other person and criticize. Like I love to criticize. It's like my favorite thing to do when I'm like feeling a certain way, and so I'm working on that a lot and it's helping. But yeah, it's just realizing that like you want to keep things smooth sailing, but like life gets in the way. You're compromising, you're doing life with one another, and that's not an easy thing to do.
100%. I was telling Macy the other day that I also do that, but I also think I'm just like super critical of myself. And then like that can bleed into like realizing when I'm like frustrated, sometimes even with just me, then I become really critical of like my loved ones. Do you know what I mean? And like in relationships.
Absolutely. It's like almost like that like projection piece where like I think it takes a lot of self-awareness, like, and I'm a very self-aware person, but sometimes like things fall through the cracks, and I would say it's one of those things.
Reminds me of Luke's compliment to you. Isn't that what he called you?
He said you're very self-aware.
Well, guys, let's not go back to that time where I really thought in my marriage would be a great idea for every day to give each other a compliment, and Luke's first and only one, because we stopped after day one.
Oh my God, stop. That's
stopped
hilarious.
after day one. We didn't make it past day one when my husband says, I just love how self-aware you are.
You know, like, that's great, but I think that self-awareness as somebody who is extremely, like, hyper self-aware, it's like, I could see why you would react that way, because as somebody who is, I would say we're very similar in that aspect. It doesn't feel like a compliment. It feels like a backhanded compliment. So fair. But yeah, it's very hard not to project that onto people. And then you realize, like, sometimes you just have to take a breath and you're like, oh, wait, this has nothing to do with my partner. This is everything to do with me and how I actually feel about myself.
Have you guys dipped into Mel Robbins? Have you dipped into the Let Them?
Wait, stop.
Because I have the book on Audible and I've been listening to it.
Okay, this is hilarious that I just love the different take on this, because Nora has the book, Alicia had, I mean, Alicia, just take it away at this point.
You know, there are a few things I like to get on my soapbox. But let's just be honest. I like to get on my soapbox a lot. I have a lot of
No.
I have a lot of views. I got a lot of hot takes. I got a lot of views. We are in Taurus season, guys. All right. So, let's just be honest.
It's Aiden's birthday today, your fellow Taurus.
It is also my best friend Michelle's birthday today, and that was the first Taurus I've ever had in my life. And and then number 2 over here.
Well, this is an April Taurus, though. Then we have a May Taurus here.
Well, April Tauruses are a little different than May Tauruses, but still, I love them all nonetheless.
Anyway, hot take it.
Okay, so, I know that Mel Robbins has been around for not a long time, but a minute, yes. And then they became very popular on TikTok and other like platforms. But there's a little known, I don't like when people do not cite where they get original things from. Like, you can't just say like, take a quote from somebody and then never cite them or never use. Yes. And I'm going to say that her Let Them brand is actually cited from someone else.
Especially when it becomes like your brand.
She does say that right away in her book, but I don't know that she says who.
No. And I have a really big problem with that. And I think that it's only in the book now because she started to get into a lot of trouble for not citing where she took her content from. And yes, clearly Mel Robbins has a much larger reach, clearly is very easy to digest and listen to, and I enjoy listening to them talk. My problem becomes when you make a huge, huge platform off of the back of somebody else and then can't just give them credit where credit is fucking due.
I mean, I think giving credit, period, is great, but especially like on a platform like TikTok, when you're doing all these things, the person that she allegedly stole it from is a very small creator, very small account. So that's an issue too, because then it's like you're profiting off of it and this creator is not. Like based off of their following and their videos.
Well, and they're not even just a creator, they're a writer. Yeah. So she took something that was already printed and written from an author. They're just a small author. So like that I have like, I've got a little bit of a qualm with. I don't have an issue with Mel Robbins themselves. I just don't like when that in general happens.
Well, and when you have a platform, you should try to what do they say? Collaboration is like a much better thing than like.
I'm going to tell you, it almost felt for a long time like their Let Them theory was theirs. Like they came up with it out of thin air.
Alicia brought this up. This is like months ago at this point. And Alicia brought this up and she said the Let Them theory. And I said, oh yeah, Mel Robbins. Like that's who I associate that theory with. And yeah, I mean, so at that point, if your audience thinks that you made this up and this is your theory, come on. The proof is in the pudding, babe. Like, yeah.
Well, when she starts the book, especially on the audio, she does immediately, like, that's her thing. I heard this from blah, blah, blah. And then I started trying to apply it every day. But, like, you still would think that if you have social platforms that you would then say, like, here's who I got that from.
Nope, and they don't. And it's kind of this weird, and to me, it's because it's been a long fight for the smaller author to have to get their voice heard from Mel. And now I'm sure that Mel's lawyers, let's be very clear, I'm sure this isn't Mel themselves going like.
Also, I am curious the timeline of like when this book came out versus like how long she's been doing the Let Them theory, just because then like that would even prove a little bit more that it's more of like trying to make sure like that PR team is working really fucking hard.
Yeah. Well, and had Mel Robbins probably not got as big as they did, it probably wouldn't be anything. But you built your entire like now legacy, shall we say, off of that.
That's part of also what she talks about. But she does talk about how she was doing all these things and she had all of this audience and she had a following, but she didn't believe in herself and she didn't promote herself until she really started following this theory. And so like all of the blowing up of the marketing also didn't happen until after this whole thing was set into motion. So like she could have easily not even included this in her platform and just kept going on with what she was talking about.
I'm going to tell you, I follow both. I will be very clear. I follow both people. I follow the smaller author, and I also follow Mel. The smaller author's name is Cassie. And I will say I enjoy, it's weird. I don't know that the Let Them theory really like resonates with me, but I have to say I enjoy other people that have been on Mel Robbins' platform.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
I resonate a lot with like theories similar to it, but the let them theory is never one that's really clicked and like stayed for me.
Yeah, I like a lot of like the doctors and people that they've had, like the psychologists and psychiatrists that she has had on, that have talked a lot about like having narcissists in your life, or what to do when encountering like this kind of personality traits or other things like that. So I will say that I do enjoy the like a lot of the like people that they are bringing in for you to digest like other issues. But I will say I don't know that how's the book? One of my clients couldn't get through it.
I feel like audiobook for me has been good so far. I was listening to it on our 6 hours on a plane. So, it was good. I mean, you're listening here and there, or she's bringing up scenarios that like you might be involved in, that like it springs your anxiety and you start thinking about those situations. I don't know that I'm going to be all in, but I'm going to listen to all of it. I don't know if I'm going to like apply the theory, but at the same time, you could still take away quite a bit from that.
100%. I think that we as humans do that in general, where you find I mean, inspirational fucking quotes. Hang in there with the fucking cat. I mean, like, there's so many things out there that like we digest very easily as people, and you collect whatever feeds to you, whatever speaks to you, whatever you need in that moment.
But that's more of what you're saying of like with her podcast, with those guests talking about all these different things. Like in the book, she is bringing up different scenarios, and it does fall back to the let them, but then it goes into the why. And it's more about the why and not like that, like following all that through. That's what I enjoy, is like the why this is happening, or why your brain thinks these things, kind of a thing. But I don't know that we can all just be like, oh yeah, I'm going to be totally cool with that group of women talking shit about me 24/7. Let them.
I think the let them theory, the problem I think that I have with that is like sometimes I don't think you should let them. Like, and that's why I don't think I resonate with it, because it's like the let them theory is applying to like every facet of your life, and more of like kind of that profound acceptance and peace. And that's the thing, is I can let shit roll off, but sometimes you shouldn't. And I think that sometimes you need to say that was fucked up, or X, Y, and Z. And you shouldn't just let your partner be a dick to you. You shouldn't just let like your friend treat you like shit and not call them out for it. Like, that's why I don't think it really works for me, because I'm like, I think I'm just too outspoken of a person to ever let them 100% of the time.
I'm a roll offer. We know this is why I'm reading this book, because these two are not roll offers. As Alicia says, the dead horse.
I cannot let them. I will never let them. We will circle back and circle back and circle back until I feel satisfied. And then maybe I will still circle back.
Dude, I mean, like it was what, Saturday night? One of Aiden's like best friends, his ex-girlfriend hated me. And so this is something that I still harp on to this day. And he literally asked me on Saturday night, and he said, can we just stop talking this? And I said, I mean, like, sure, but like, I want to still harp on it, okay? When I'm done, I'm not done. I have not made peace with it yet, okay? Because why the fuck did she hate me? I met her 3 times. Now we have beef, and I'm never going to see this girl ever again. But you know what? Agreed, Alicia, because sometimes, no, I'm not the kind of person to just let shit roll off all the time. I like to live in spite sometimes.
Well, mine more is like the situation you're talking about too. It bothers me if somebody doesn't, number one, if they don't know me and they hate me. Number 2, if they know me and they might be annoyed with something that I did, or I think that they're mad at me, or I think that they don't like something that I did. And that's more in my head, that I'll just keep going over it instead of saying anything out loud.
See, I'm doing all the above. So I'm going over it in my head. I'm like harping on it with Aiden, and then I talk about it to the person that I was with.
No, I like rage bait myself. I like think about it more, and then I'm like, now I'm even more upset. I'm more angry. Actually, to be honest, now that I thought about it more.
She has said that multiple times. I can, as a witness, she has said, now that I have thought about it more.
Does that happen when you're like, say, like having like a disagreement with Luke? Will you like think that you like put things to rest, and then like the next day you're like, actually, no, because that happens to me all the time.
Case scenario. I was on my period the other day, and uh, I had a laundry list of things to do. I had gone to the grocery store or Target. I had like done things. The next on my list to check off was clean the house. Luke had come home from the gym, but his usual go-to is come home from gym, lay on couch, watch videos, then move on to next task. Somehow that made me so mad in my
How dare you?
yes, in my girl period brain, I couldn't.
Well, because I understand because, dude, you broed out doing something for yourself. Very cool that you're doing self-care, but this is not part of a self-care day. This is a family care day. The household needs to be taken care of.
So I felt like I was, when you feel like you're like banging things around excessively loud while trying to put things away. Yes. And then I realized, you know what? No, we're not going to do that today. We're going to try to calmly let him know how I'm feeling without being a bitch. But there's really no nice way to be like, hey, guess what? You don't get to sit on the couch now. So I walk into the living room and I said, I'm really not trying to be a bitch, but it's really setting off a rage inside of me that you are relaxing right now and I cannot control it. And I'm gonna need you to not do it right here. If you are, I need you to go somewhere else because I cannot listen to you watching videos, relaxing on the couch while I have things to do while I'm on my period. And he looked at me like, I think she's lost her fucking mind.
You know what though? That's very good communication skills on your part. I'm gonna say though.
Thank you.
Like at least you weren't like get the fuck up and do something. You're like go and do it somewhere else.
I didn't say you couldn't relax anymore. I said not in fucking front of me.
Go to your room.
Go to your room.
Somewhere else that I don't have to listen to.
Chill on the toilet for an hour.
Somewhere else.
Yeah.
Somewhere else. To our non-existent basement, bitch.
Go to your room.
He goes, well, I was going to walk the dog. Should I just go do that now? And I said, that sounds wonderful. Thank you.
And you can watch a video while you're doing it.
And then he just started laughing. And I said, it's my period. He goes, I'm realizing that. And he goes, you doing okay? And I was like, not really. I need you to just leave. Just do something.
You know what? I think I'm proud of you based off of that.
I know. I'm going to call that actually like brave.
I think that as much as like silly and like we can giggle about it, like that's very mature of you.
I honestly, I'm not going to lie. I walked away being like, I am proud of myself because normally I would have just been so internally angry and I have no reason for it. I had no reason. He had done nothing. He had done absolutely nothing but doing his things. And it just set me off. And it set me off because I was on my period. And, hey, periods be period. And my hormones are swinging. They are in a swings.
I resonate with that so much. And like when you describe that like inner rage, it's that inner female rage, man. I don't even know if men will ever understand what that's like, but it's like everything that somebody they might breathe the wrong way. It's like the John from Kate Plus 8 or whatever, where she's like, can you stop breathing so loud? And he's literally not even breathing loud.
Oh, when it's that time of the month and we're eating dinner and I feel like he's chewing too loud. And I'm like, why do you chew loud now? I don't like it. Like, what's happening? Have you always chewed like this? In my brain, I'm always like, no, I can't do it. And I just think that this is every month. It's the same thing. I'm really fortunate that I have girlfriends that all feel the same way about their husbands at that time of the month. And we all just talk about it. And it's great.
I actually refuse to admit that is the reason why you would get in trouble with me. The reason you're getting in trouble with me is because you did something wrong, not because I have my period. But I might be saying something because I have my period and not just being quiet about it.
We're just a little irrational. Just slightly irrational.
Well, that might have had to do with my incident yesterday with Bill. But he was not backing down. He was really headstrong that I was being crazy and I was trying to start a fight with him. And I was like, no, you're hurting my feelings the way that you're speaking to me. And I need you to redo that. and he doesn't like to, he's just got a tone. They got a tone sometimes.
No, it's the way that they talk about stuff where it's like, I wasn't going to fight, but now the way that you're responding, now I want to fight. Because how I was being gentle. And now you're coming at me with this like reactive voice. Ooh, nothing triggers me faster.
Sometimes my favorite thing to do is give Luke back what he's giving me. And then he gets very offended very fast. And then I'm always like, what? I'm just giving you what you were giving me.
They insist that we did it like that first.
No. And then he's like, oh, so we have a problem now? And it's like, no, bitch, I thought we had a problem because of the way you were speaking to fucking me. So now I'm just getting onto your level and now you don't fucking like it. So now we do have a problem, I guess. And this is why I can never just let them.
I won't. At the end of the day, the let them theory is not for me. I hope it treats you well, Nora. It's surely not going to treat me well, though.
I'm just going to keep doing what I do.
I think it's amazing. I think if it works for people, then great. It's just, I'm not people. I'm not those people.
No, but I still think like it could be something that people need to hear, whether they're going to apply it in the same manner or not. It's still more trying to get you to tap into being your best self for you, not for other people.
I got this really remarkable book about forgiveness like a few years back now, but I just feel that one, is all I really need. Don't worry.
That's why I thought, wow, I'm really shocked that Linda didn't give Alicia this Let Them book because I feel like it's kind of like similar. The let go, let them. Let me tell you guys what I did this weekend. I went to the circus for the first time.
Which one? The one in Orland? Circa Italia?
Yeah.
Me too.
You did?
Friday night.
We went on Saturday night.
Love that.
Rolled up. It was just a fucking giant tent in the Orland Square parking lot. And I thought, here we go.
I literally said, I don't know what to expect. $20 later with popcorn.
Oh, we bought all the things. Brittany was like, go over to where the light things are. He's going to want one of those lights. So we did. It actually thoroughly enjoyed it.
Agreed.
Felt a little uncomfortable. Held my child's hand very tightly. Bathrooms were scary.
Yeah. Why was it 4 random porta potties outside through the parting of the tent?
I don't know.
But I took Vivian. I was going to take Aiden, but Aiden was like, love you, not my thing. And I said, fair enough. So then I took Vivian. Fair enough, because it was very child-centered. But it was very cool.
It was. Bill's like, I was entertained, actually, surprisingly. I'm like, yeah, I mean, they were kind of doing some crazy shit in there. Like, the trapeze artists really get me.
The people doing flips. Did you see the one guy with the red hair? Yes. He went on my night. He was doing those flips on the guy's legs and right in his throat. Poor guy.
This is an act. Let me tell you. I thought they're making it up because he got it in his chest on our night.
Oh, but he could not breathe. It was like he got it where the wind got knocked out of him. And so he was like, and then he got back into it. And I said, I can't imagine getting conked in my throat with a foot, with a shoe on it. And then getting right back up and flipping and flipping and flipping and flipping.
I think it's part of the act. I think he purposefully, because he got hit right here. I think
that's where he got hit too.
I think he purposefully gets hurt, and everybody's like, "Oh!" And the one guy is like, "So sorry, I'm so sorry," and moving stuff around, and then he comes back for Then he came back out, and they reset it up, and he's like, "Are you sure? Are you sure you want to do it?" Did he do another? Then he does his major flipping in the air after that. I knew it was. You just confirmed it,
motherfucker. You know what? I thought this was an exciting part.
The night's great. There's a million acts. You are in this tent. Again, another casino situation. It's dark in there. Bill's like, they have all these propane heaters underneath the bleachers. Hopefully we don't die from carbon monoxide poisoning. I'm like, I'm pretty sure at this point, they know what they're doing here. And there's fans going. So lo and behold, comes to the end part where the hype guy is running around, the crazy looking guy. So PJ gets chosen to go up.
Of course PJ gets chosen.
And it's at the end, and it's the one where they're he jokes around, the clown guy, puts a couple balls in his mouth and tries to shoot it up into the air into a basketball hoop that's on his head. Then he pretends like he's going to give the ball out of his mouth to PJ standing up in front. And then he pulls out a bag, like from his bag, a new box of ping pong balls. And PJ is supposed to put each one in his mouth and shoot it into the hoop that's on this guy's head. So he did it. He did a great job. He got one in. He should have gotten 3 in. So we had dinner beforehand. PJ had about 3 to 4 tequila old fashions. He also had an edible. He also was smoking a little bit beforehand. He's like, you guys, I got up there, put the first ball in my mouth, and I had such dry mouth that I couldn't even get it to blast off out of my mouth. He's like, I didn't know what to expect. It was great. It was just great that PJ was part of the last part of the show. But we had a good time. I was entertained. I was very impressed with the trapeze artists.
I liked the girl the best. She was
She was great. At the same time, I also was like, this is like a little burlesque show happening right now.
And then the guy who was holding on by his mouth.
Yes.
I said, oh, your jaw and your mouth must be just...
Every moment you're sitting there thinking, I hope none of these people actually get hurt while we're here. Like, I hope that moment doesn't happen. That's great. Well, I'm glad that you were entertained by that as well.
I would say I love that this was something that you guys went to but didn't know that you guys were both at different times.
That's so silly. I love that for us.
Sounds like a successful, eventful weekend for you both.
Like I told Nora, I'm still on day 2 of my hangover right now. So here we are.
Yeah, she took it from carnival to carnival.
Literally. Very eventful, very fun. What was your weekend like, Leash?
I had the world's longest Friday.
Yeah, you did.
So I went home and I died.
What time did they leave at?
7:30.
Holy shit.
Luke finally messaged me and goes, "Are you coming home? I'd like to order pizza for dinner." I was like, order away. I ate and I went to bed. Between my neck thing that's happening recently, I recently woke up and couldn't move my shoulder neck, and it's being really weird. And then working a long day. And then what did I do Saturday? Woke up, it was chilly, but we had a lot of yard stuff to do because we host a annual Memorial Day party, and we are leaving for Greece on Monday.
I hope that part of your plane ride consists of sending out invitations to said Memorial Day party. I'm getting concerned I'm not invited.
This is one of my to-do lists today, is whether or not I'm figuring out if I'm just sending out an Evite this year, like a phone, you know what I mean, to your phone, or if I'm still going to do old school Facebook, because that was always where our thing used to live.
I feel like Nora, you should just assume at this point that you're invited. And if you're not, you're just walking in.
But that's on my to-do list for today as well. Is that so? We only have one weekend when we get home to get our shit in order for our party. I did a Pilates class yesterday, and I forgot that it was the farmers market had started up in Frankfurt. It's just every Sunday. So I was on my way to Pilates, and I realized there was so much traffic, and I said, no, farmers market, which I love the farmers market, but I would have given myself more time because finding parking is disastrous. So then, of course, I had to, naturally I had to walk around the farmers market after Pilates. So I got some flowers, I got a new plant, I got coffee, and then I got the Monstera leaf. That's the one that's all the whole-lead one. You know what I'm talking? Swiss cheese. That's what it's called. And here we are. My weekend wasn't as eventful as these ladies. It felt like a lot of, I packed. I packed for Greece. I am packed, guys. Was said with a lot of anxiety. So because of that anxiety, Sarah, my girlfriend, texted me and said, do you want to meet for a drink? I'm over by you. So we went and had many cocktails at the Ridgewood. I saw Jay. And I didn't realize that I'd gotten as drunk as I did, because it was a lot of wine. We were just drinking, and I hadn't eaten. And I was stressed from packing. And I went and met her in the afternoon. And all of a sudden, I got home, and I was like, Luke, we need food. I think I'm drunk. And I was like, whoa, all right. But that was my weekend in a nutshell. A lot of this, a lot of that, a lot of outside stuff.
That sounds like a purposeful and wonderful weekend. Although I did do something fun this weekend, Willow was a royal asshole all weekend. She was being a complete taco head, and it was very difficult dealing with her. So instead of doing like my said responsibilities around the house, I just was like, we need to go outside. I need to go outside. So I was just outside all weekend doing shit in the yard, distracting myself. So now I do need to focus on the indoors and do stuff like that.
I love that you called her a taco head. I don't think I've ever
Well, I
heard
shouldn't have
that.
called her an asshole. So when I want to call her something to her face, it's not usually asshole. It's, taco head or it's a pizza face or something like that. That was all. I just had to verbally voice what a jerk monger my child was being this weekend. It's a lot to deal with. And then this morning, like I was saying, that like what she woke up and was like, I should actually hide the Barbies away that you brought for her, because the first thing I could hear on the monitor was, and she hadn't even left her bed yet. Nobody had even come into like human contact with her for her to be moaning and making noises like that.
So I'm ready for a little manja. On that note, time for you to fill up your plate at home. I would like to say take your things home with you, but if you're hanging out with us, you're on a couch this time. You're not in the salon. So take your belongings, bring your Stanley Cup home with you, because we all bring our emotional support water bottles with us wherever we go. Pack it up, pack it in. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye. It's Nora, Alicia, and Macy.
We are a girly podcast and we are on the floor.
Did I go the wrong way?
You definitely did.